Y este domingo las autoridades de Ucrania informaron que ya suman 16 personas muertas por un ataque de Rusia contra una ferretería en la ciudad de Járkiv. Además de los fallecidos, hay más de 40 personas heridas. Las autoridades ucranianas han pedido a la población que evite los espacios abiertos en la región de Jersón debido a informes de explosiones. Los ataques por parte de la fuerza rusa siguen en curso en la ciudad de Járkiv, que ha sido asaltada 15 veces en las últimas 24 horas, de acuerdo con el comandante de las fuerzas de defensa de la ciudad.
España y Ucrania han suscrito este lunes al mediodía un importante acuerdo de cooperación bilateral en materia de seguridad que, entre otros, se traducirá en la aportación española de más de 1.000 millones de dólares en concepto de apoyo militar a Ucrania a lo largo de este 2024. Un acuerdo que ha sido rubricado por el presidente del gobierno español, Pedro Sánchez, y el presidente de Ucrania, Volodymyr Zelensky, quien este lunes realizaba su primer viaje oficial a España. Este acuerdo tendrá una vigencia de 10 años y, más allá de contener esta importante aportación económica que servirá para sistemas de defensa antiaéreos, se podrá aplicar también en otras áreas de cooperación como la asistencia humanitaria, la reconstrucción del país o en ámbitos de la justicia. En rueda de prensa, Pedro Sánchez señalaba que de esta manera se mantiene firme el compromiso de España con Ucrania, algo que también se ha venido demostrando a lo largo de los últimos meses de partidas de material militar, partidas como la que se mandará en breve hacia Ucrania y que incluirá sistemas de combate como los carros Leopard, munición de todo tipo o los sistemas de misiles Patriot. Terminado este encuentro, Zelensky se ha desplazado hasta el Palacio Real de Madrid, donde ha sido recibido por su homólogo, el rey Felipe VI, quien además ha ofrecido un almuerzo en su honor. En esta oportunidad, Felipe VI ha reiterado su condena más firme contra la agresión rusa. Mostraba también su apoyo sin fisuras hacia Ucrania y recordaba que España seguirá mandando material militar a Ucrania hasta que finalice esta guerra. Una oportunidad en la que también aseveraba que España seguirá participando de este programa europeo por el que se forman militares ucranianos y que hasta el momento ha llevado a formar a más de 4.300 en territorio español. Culminando su agenda en suelo español, Zelensky se desplazaba entonces hasta el Congreso de los Diputados, donde era recibido por la presidenta del Congreso y el presidente del Senado. Terminado pues ya sus reuniones aquí en España, se espera que mañana martes se desplace hasta el país vecino, a Portugal, donde se encontrará con el presidente de la República, Marcelo Rebelo de Sousa, y el primer ministro, Luis Montenegro. Para CNN, Pau Mosquera, Madrid.
As he swaggered in the presidential palace of his top ally in Belarus and crowed about the deployment of tactical nuclear weapons in that country, the former KGB colonel ruthlessly pressed on with a purge of his top military brass at home. Two top Russian military officials just arrested as Vladimir Putin's purported campaign to stamp out corruption continues.
I think it's definitely the biggest military shakeup that we've seen in Moscow since the start of the war that we're aware of.
One of those arrested, Lieutenant General Vadim Shamarin, a top communications officer in the Russian army. He's accused of taking large-scale bribes. Russian state media reports that despite having an annual salary in 2018 of about $32,000 American dollars, Shamarin's wife in 2022 bought a Mercedes worth over $200,000. Analysts say not unusual in a military rife with corruption.
I mean, the Russian military is known for padding contracts. They, will write a big contract and take a cut. This kind of rampant corruption is normal. And again, the higher you go, the more rampant it is.
With these latest arrests, 5 top Russian military officials have been arrested in the past couple of months. At least 4 have denied wrongdoing. Earlier this month, Putin pushed out his longtime defense minister and close ally, Sergei Shoigu, and replaced him with an economist. This all comes as Russian forces have made recent gains on the battlefield in Ukraine, a still grinding war that Putin has ramped up spending for.
Russia is moving to a war economy, and it's true. 7% of their GDP now is focused on defense. They're on a war footing.
But some analysts believe there's more going on inside the Kremlin than Putin trying to clean up his defense spending.
I mean, it really feels to me like a Soviet-style purge. He's probably done some forensics since the march on Moscow last summer, remember, by Yevgeny Prigozhin.
Yevgeny Prigozhin, the Wagner mercenary chief who led a short-lived rebellion against the Kremlin last year after viciously and very publicly accusing Shoigu and the chief of the general staff, Valery Gerasimov, of not supporting Wagner militants on the battlefield, once doing that while strolling among the dead bodies of his mercenaries.
Shoigu! Gerasimov!
Prigozhin later died in a mysterious plane crash. Analysts say Putin could now be sorting out who's really loyal to him and sending a message to the Russian people.
Allows Putin to say to his domestic audience, yeah, I'm cleaning shop here and we're going to be in this for a while.
Experts say it's possible that more purges could be coming from Vladimir Putin and that the powerful chief of the general staff, Valery Gerasimov, might need to look over his shoulder. Although one analyst points out Gerasimov is at the top of the military pyramid and Putin might need to tread carefully with him. Brian Todd, CNN, Washington.
They hide feverishly as they're a prime target for Russian missiles. But if Moscow knew the trouble these US-supplied Abrams tanks are causing Ukraine, they might not bother and let them keep them. The M1 Abrams, America's main battle tank, a veteran of fighting Saddam in Iraq and desert insurgents. But muddy Ukrainian fields and $500 attack drones? Not so much.
There was such a fuss around whether Ukraine would get these, but from the moment the decision was made, yes, through the training, through the time it took to get to the front line, the war has enormously changed.
All 31 America gave are now in one area in the east where Ukraine is losing ground. Training in Germany, the interior in Ukrainian. And while there is gratitude for all US help, they can't pretend this is working.
Його броня на сьогоднішній момент абсолютно недостатня. Вона не захищає екіпаж. Насправді на сьогоднішній момент це війна дронів. Тепер, коли виїжджає танк, його завжди намагаються вразити.
Ціль номер один.
Ціль номер один.
На полі бою, виходить, без захисту екіпаж не виживає.
They've learned the hardest way here in the pitched battle for the city of Avdiivka. One of their drivers lost a leg recently. Off camera, they show us how they're adding active armour plates on themselves. Then there are the shells. Not enough. Of the wrong type for the wrong sort of fight.
Те, що ми маємо, більш розраховано на прямі танкові бої. Досить часто ти працюєш як артилерія, тобі треба розібрати посадку або будинок. У нас був випадок, коли 17 пострілів в хату, вона стоїть.
Better than Soviet tanks, they still say, even though this one, fresh from Poland, is already broken down. Condensation can fry the electrics, they also say. Really, this is a solid gold wrench of a gift. This is a tank for a kind of war NATO would only fight backed by huge artillery and air power. They're being asked to do things NATO never would.
Так, вони б цього не зробили. Спочатку авіація, артилерія, потім заходять танки, піхота. Call the aviation, call the artillery. We have no aviation and artillery. We have only tank. And it's the problem.
One Abrams was captured and paraded in Red Square recently. The crew here joke, at least the Russians managed to tow it away. They've been struggling as these are so heavy. This threadbare army losing ground, perhaps wish they got a gift receipt.
If you could ask the Americans for one thing now, what would you ask for?
У мене єдине питання, чому це відбувається отак довго і частково? Ми втрачаємо час і для нас це смерть.
Machines built at the peak of American hyperpower decades ago, sent half-heartedly it seems, to hold back a fast-changing world. Nick Payton-Walsh, CNN, Eastern Ukraine.
During one of the missions at night, after walking through the passage, I had grenades thrown at me. When I regained consciousness in the ER room, I didn't have hands.
I was hoping until the very end that it wasn't him.
When the war started, we understood that Asper Hand can help a lot of Ukrainians. I'm originally from Ukraine. I left one day before the war started. We started Asper Bionics because we believe robotics will unlock many technologies for all humanity to live longer and feel more active life. Asper Hand is a bionic hand and it can give back many functions. Asper Hand understands user behavior and helps to choose right grip in advance because of AI. Also, it detects muscle activity. If I take cup today from a table several times, tomorrow system will understand.
Since my start of working in prosthetics, I was always looking for a product that will be more reliable and aesthetically fit. When we met with Dima, we saw a huge potential of working together.
Protest Foundation is one of our favorite partners. We sell our device with the price of manufacturing cost to Protest Foundation, and they install it for free to end user. It's a social duty for us. It's not a business market.
Our program works where people come 3 weeks to 6 months. We bring them to clinic, get them fitted, so they're every day come and do exercising and do physical therapy.
Mechanical hand can't substitute the real one, but it is making my life so much easier and allows me to function. For me, prosthetics were made in such a way that I'm returning back to the army.
Approximately 40% of patients that we fitted went back to frontline. It shocks me, but they are looking for opportunity to go back and help.
Побачити своїх дітей. І щоб вони побачили.
First thing I want to do is see my kids and hug them.
In my job, I feel very blessed that I can see people being restored functions that they lost during this injury.
It is hard to be involved in all these stories, but it's way easier when you see how it helps people.